Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing The Curse of the Weeping Woman. This was directed by Michael Chavez and stars Linda Cardellini and Patricia Belsacar. It really follows the story of Anna, played by Linda Cardellini, a young single mother with two children, whose husband has previously passed away, and she is a caseworker. On one particular night she gets given a particular case involving one particular mother who is accused of child abuse and endangerment. And she ultimately goes there to try and help her to see if the children are okay. She ultimately finds out that the children are locked in a particular cupboard and unsure why they've been put there. Ignoring the warnings of the troubled mother, Linda and her two small children are thrown into the supernatural realm and don't really know what's going on. And they all experience something different in regards to this particular character who becomes the Weeping Woman. It really looks at how Anna will do all she can to protect her children, and that she's trying every avenue to try and stop this thing from taking her children and attacking her. She ultimately ropes in an ex-priest who knows a lot about this particular world and this particular curse, and he tries to help her and her children overcome this. And this all leads to a surprising ending, I guess you could say. I thought this film was okay. It felt like a lot of the horror films that we've seen before. The death scenes weren't very inventive or creative. I didn't think the story was very solid. It was just an average cliched sort of horror movie, unfortunately. Now, in saying that, there are elements I didn't mind to it. There's some I like the way particular shots were filmed and kind of looked, and the feel of particular scenes as well. And I liked some of the music choices, and I kind of liked the ideas within it. Like, I liked the idea of the renegade Raphael, played by Michael Cruz. I thought he was kind of an interesting thing, but as my friend pointed out, he was ultimately playing an action star rather than a real person, because he didn't say a lot, and when he did, they're all one-liners, and that's what it felt like. Linda Cardellini, I think, is a brilliant actress, and I've really liked her and enjoyed her performances ever since Freaks and Geeks and ER, but I just find her wasted in this film. She just ends up being a screaming mother, yelling out the kids' names all the time every time she sees the Weeping Woman. And I just felt her character and the actress deserved a lot better than what she got. She did the best with what she had, but it wasn't much to deal with. I think the young kids did an okay job. And I kind of like the Raphael character that Michael Cruz plays, but I really feel they should have put a different actor in that particular role rather than him. But the real standout to me is Patricia Belsacar. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but she ultimately played the love interest in the Mummy movies, the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies, and she was quite good in that, but I think she's a real standout here. The character seems to know what's going on. She seems a bit crazy, but I kind of like that aspect to her, and she brings such gravity to her character without knowing too much about her, where we spend a lot of time with Anna and her two children, but we don't really know a lot about them. They don't evolve as characters that much, in my opinion, and I just felt that Patricia's character was a lot better in that regard, and I felt a lot more for her. That's all sort of the positives I can really see for the film that I really enjoyed. Now, the things I didn't quite enjoy is the cliche, like I said, the deaths were sort of cliche, the scary moments were all done before. There was nothing original and unique to the story. It sort of slightly ties into the Conjuring Universe, and that's what it feels like ever since they've done the Conjuring films. All these spin-off films just haven't been as good or up to par as these. And ever since James Wan stopped doing these particular films, they're just not as good. He has a great way of doing less jump scares and more just creepy moments, and I think that he does a really fantastic job in the films he makes, and I think that's what's lacking from these particular films. I didn't really feel a connection at all with the Anna character or the children. They throw in a little bit of a backstory that her husband was a cop and now he's passed away, and it's about her trying to look after her children. But there's just no real depth to the characters to really connect to or latch on to. And they all experience something with the Weeping Woman, but they never talk about it. They never talk to each other about it. And it just seems really strange and odd of the things that are transpiring in the film that they don't really discuss. And it just felt run of the mill. Like the Raphael character, I thought he was kind of interesting, the ex-priest trying to help her, and he knows about this sort of stuff. And I thought he was quite good, but like I said, he really needed to have a different actor in that role, someone who was much better at portraying a character like that and making it a bit more realistic, rather than just an action hero type of character, and make them sort of more real. And when we see the Weeping Woman, I don't think she really looks freaky or creepy at all, and I just feel it's a bit lacking in that area. There is a kind of an interesting sequence that reminded me of Nightmare on Elm Street that I really liked, within a hallway in a particular house that I kind of liked. There's one particular sequence where Anna and Raphael are waiting and to see what happens, and then things transpire and it's cut to black after cut to black after cut to black, and it takes me out of the film. There was a lot in this film that took me out. I just felt that the movie, it just didn't get to where it should have been. I think it should have really focused more on the Patricia character, because I felt that she was a more interesting character, and she was something we could connect to, and we could understand her craziness after a while, and I liked that aspect to her. And I think if the film sort of focused more on her and then went on to the Anna character and sort of passed it on to her, I kind of like the idea of those sort of films where someone's going through something, usually a thriller or a horror movie, and then they pass that thing on to someone else, and then we focus on those particular characters. And I think that's what this film was trying to do, but I just felt the Anna character wasn't interesting enough to, to see the world through to begin with, and the Patricia character would have been a much better option. Yeah, it just felt like it could have been much better. It just felt like it was by the numbers. They just thought, oh, we've got this idea, let's just make this movie, and it's just unfortunately not very good. And it is sort of a disappointing film for me, and it's really put me in the mind frame of not really going to see a lot of horror movies anymore unless I know they're going to be good, because I'm just disappointed with them. I did think that even though it wasn't perfect or great, that Pet Sematary was a much better film than this, and that wasn't one I preferred, but still wasn't a great film either. Final verdict. Look, if you want a good sort of horror film with interesting characters, this is probably not the film for you. It'd be best to go and see Pet Sematary. I'm going to give The Curse of the Weeping Woman 2.5 out of 5. I was disappointed with the film. It wasn't great. There was elements I liked, but not enough for me to really enjoy the film as much as I could have. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe down the bottom. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.